All right, the time being 6:30 PM, I hereby call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission to order on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. This meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission is now open under the State Wetland Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Hanson Local Bylaw, Article 3-13, Section 5. This opening statement will apply for business conducted at this meeting. As per our standard procedure, this meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission is being audio recorded. Start with a roll call beginning at the left.
Steve Smith. Ed Steele. David Mansfield.
TJ Rope.
Lon Woodward.
Frank Stillinger.
So we do have all four of our seated commissioners present, as well as 100% of the office staff. Turning to our agenda, the first item on the agenda for 6:30 PM is a continued notice of intent to replace the water wheel at the Nathaniel Thomas Mill, 583 Liberty Street. And we got the DEP number for that, correct?
We do. We have a number.
Okay.
770.
I wasn't at our last meeting, so where do we stand with this?
We were waiting to hear back from the DEP if they had anything they were looking for on it. We heard back, they gave us our number, referred to check with Chapter 91 stuff, licenses, and Frank took care of that for me. I got ahold of them, they came back saying we're correct, we're all set with that, we're clear to do the work, so.
The notice of the number had two comments. One was it might require a Chapter 91 license. That's a waterways license. And the other one was it's possible you'd need a 404 certification from the Army Corps. So I went through the DEP waterways people and explained to them what was going to be done in the waterway, in the stream, and they wanted to see pictures, which is why you have a set of pictures of the mill and the location of the wheel, and a picture of the wheel and the stand. And once they understood what was going to be done, they came back and said, okay, you don't need a Chapter 91 license to do this. I attempted 3 times to get a hold of the Corps, and I haven't heard back from them, but my review of the requirements is that if we give approval for the order of conditions, that should satisfy the requirement for the Corps. It represents a combined certification. If I hear back from them different, that would be an issue. But what I'm going to recommend to you is that you go ahead and hear Mr. Means out, hear his Eagle Scout candidate out, and then act on the order of conditions. You will need to approve work within the 50-foot buffer, since they're right up against the stream with the vegetation removal, and in the stream, obviously, to set the wheel. So, there you go. It's in your hands.
Would work in the stream require a separate variance, or would that be covered under the same?
You should cover it under one. Just word it that way.
This isn't an Eagle project as of right now, just a community service for the scouts to get help with the brush side of it.
Okay.
We're working on
Sorry.
That's okay. We're gonna work on we're not sure how the wheel's getting put in yet, but we're just trying to get all the legwork done, so when we finally get the legwork done, we can get a hold of some people and find out what it will take to get it put in, and we don't have this slowing us down. Try to do some of the legwork ahead of time.
Maybe you said, no, I believe last time we left off, you were on the fence about whether you were going to pursue with grab a whole lot of guys to lift it, or bring a crane in?
It'll probably be a crane, right? I mean, that's my opinion, otherwise somebody's gonna get hurt. Yeah, go down that hill with something round, it's gonna roll very well, and I see somebody underneath it with that happening, I see bad things.
Yeah.
If it was level ground, we could probably make it work.
So the crane itself has been the issue, the weight of the crane and where it's gonna be.
The crane would be in the parking lot. Yeah, that's not an issue at all. It's just, you gotta reach it right up over the building. The crane will be, that's a walk in the
The
park.
crane will stay in the parking lot,
Yep.
which is still within the 50-foot buffer, correct?
But it's not any excavation work.
But it's not
Yeah.
excavation,
No
but it
digging,
is.
no nothing.
Right.
Not really an issue.
It's gonna be feet in the water, people's
Right.
feet, it ain't gonna be any equipment,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so.
But there will be people, there will not be people in the water?
There will be people,
There will be people.
because you gotta get in there and bolt it down and
Yeah,
get it into
no,
position.
definitely.
It'll be done with, whoever comes in with a crane, they'll have a headset with one of their guys anyways,
Mm-hmm.
that will be communicating, because they're not gonna be able to see each other, so they'll be communicating through
Right.
radio, so.
Mike, explain how the stand worked. There's a picture of it in the back of the sheet. I'm sorry. Somewhere there was a picture of it. What happened to the picture?
Of the new one or the old
The
one?
new one.
Oh, really? I don't see
It's
it.
in the packet of pictures.
Ah. Didn't get copied.
Of what?
The
Well,
stand,
the new one is
stand
a
on the wheel.
two-piece stand, and
Well,
it comes down like this, it's connected on the bottom.
Similar to the old one? We have a
Similar,
picture of the
except
old
it's
one.
steel. So, yeah, it's close, but the arms will be up higher, going more towards the top. If you don't mind, I'll take a walk up here. If you look here, you see how the arms are down low down there?
Yep.
The new one, the arms come up more towards the top.
And the new ones are metal?
Are metal. Everything is metal, the new wheel is metal as well. It's all been powder coated. I think they did it, if I remember correctly, galvanized, I'm not positive. And all powder coated, the bearing bolts onto the top. And then you put the sander on the other side, there should be some platforms there as well as, there's like a plate here, that part connects to the stand, inside stand as well near the building. So, basically, it's going identical for the most part, except it's metal.
You have the file, right?
So we should get a
Oh, you don't?
lot more like,
Yeah, I do.
versus
I just don't say anything.
10 years of the thing being rotted out, you know, I know a couple of Eagle Scouts have done work on that wheel in the past. And it's wood, it rots out, sitting in water all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of wood you make it out of.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it's been 3+ years in the works getting this done, to get the wheel done. So it's just a very long, drawn-out process getting it, you know. Understand it's finances, it's all volunteers, committees and stuff, so, as you guys know. So it's a lot, it takes time.
I had a question about insurance. Guys covered, Scouts covered,
Scouts have, I'm sure Scouts get hurt, yes.
can we get certificates?
I could ask them.
Just-
I've never had to get one before.
Well, it's just one of those things, when this is every stuff.
Well, the Scouts aren't doing the wheel.
Okay.
As of right now, we have no plans of doing the Scouts doing the wheel.
Okay, all right.
They're
Or
just
the
cutting,
stands?
no, no to stand, nothing to do,
Oh.
they're doing the brush.
Oh,
The Scouts are doing the brush, that's all we're proposing, the Scouts are proposed to do right now.
Oh,
I'm hoping that down the road, we'll have an Eagle Scout that's going for their Eagle Scout to maybe do the wheel, if we don't get it done beforehand. If that is the case, that will save the town a lot of money, because it involves getting the Eagle Scouts, anyone involved with it before, getting fundraisers and donations and all that. So it would save the town money if we can get that to happen. I just can't say I can get a scout that would be interested to do it, and/or the time frame we're looking to get it done to.
you can check with, Social Book Tech, they might do it.
They would install, they're the ones that built the stand for us.
Okay.
They built the stand.
They don't wanna do in the river work?
They don't have the equipment to get in there to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, we talked to them, like I said, original price we got to get that stand built was 10 grand. We got it done at VOTEC for 2 grand.
Wow.
Give or take, I forget the exact numbers, but it was a drastic difference.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we can afford to do the stand now. So,
Why don't we get another one?
Yeah, credit to it.
Wasn't good. I forget the exact numbers, but it was a big,
Yeah, a
huge
good
difference. It
savings.
made it affordable to get it done. Otherwise, who knows when the wheel will be put in, especially with where the town finances are right now. To
So
come in and
how
ask,
will this be financed if it isn't a?
well, that's what we gotta figure out still. That's why I say there's a lot of things in motion still,
Okay.
but trying to get some of the background stuff done and the stuff that doesn't cost yet done, if you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when we do get somebody, we say, hey, we got this, and this all lined up, all ready to go, and they're gonna like, oh, all right, you just saved me all kinds of time, you just got the price down.
Yeah, so you're not really prepared to like show up on the holiday weekend next weekend and put this thing in?
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm hoping to have the brush cut in the next month, get that cleaned up and out of there, but that's
Two totally separate projects?
two brush, yep.
Yeah.
Two stages, I was supposed to do it in one permit, to cover, well, blanket, one to cover, not blanket, but one to cover both things and do it in one process.
And that's okay with it. Standpoint, doing it alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's steps in the same project, to clear the vegetation, to put it in.
Yep. Yep.
So I did have one question, Frank. So I see that in this document here, this looks like the original from years ago, where we gave them a blanket, NOI for keeping the brush clear. Is this still in force, or do we have to, should we, instead of just saying they can do it one time, do we want to redo this and just say, no, they can keep that piece apart the way that it was originally intended to be apart?
This is a draft document that was drawn up,
Never voted on?
and it was never issued,
Gotcha, okay.
so.
Thank you for asking, because I was gonna ask that at a later date going,
Well,
how do we
I thought
implement this, and is this
Yeah.
implemented?
Well,
I think I
like
think
they're not forever, so I thought that this is just an expired one and we're just renewing it or something along those lines, but it was
No.
never passed in the first place.
It's something,
No,
something we could take, you guys could take
The
up,
NO
at a different meeting.
The NOI application would have to be for the blanket NOI. We can't adapt this one on the fly.
No one was asking to do that. I'm just thinking future down the road, going, this would be good to have to
Yeah.
maintain the grounds over there properly and not have to.
You won't have to come visit us every time you want to cut a sapling down.
Exactly. I mean, when I saw this, I was like, wow, this
NOI?
would be great to have.
Yeah, we'd love to see you, but you'd probably better off having a.
One conversation at a time. Okay, go ahead.
The Mills Conservation property, does it fall under our blanket NOI?
Ooh.
Not directly relating to this project, but
Something,
future,
something to look at.
something to look into.
Don't know the answer.
Okay.
Not to make more work, but I appreciate the thought into it, and the looking into this would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
think
take a
so.
little paperwork.
Yep.
We're gonna, who's the one from the town that always asks for the certificate of insurance? The clerk or the administrator? Like when we hired the guy from Hingham to come mow.
I usually give it to the accounting.
Okay. Because we'll need it,
Vendors or whatever.
if there's a crane hired, we'll need that
Yep.
when all is said and done.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions, or concerns from the commission? Anything else from members of the public as it pertains to this project? Mr. Clemens?
Mr. Chair, one thing to keep in mind, sort of an overview on this, is what is being proposed is replacing a previously existing wheel in the same location. It's not like it's never, ever been there before. There's precedent, which might give comfort to any, either this board or other agencies to look at it. And, there is a concrete base in the stream now that was used before that, I'm guessing they would be proposing to use it again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they would be putting something new into the stream there, that's already there. They're just placing something over it. And the old wheel, if this, I think the new wheel is more or less similar in concept, maybe a little small, actually would be in the water, above the water, as I understood. But just some comments.
That's one of the reasons why the DEP was, able to give us a green light on the Chapter 91 issue, was that it was put in the 1980s, and so it basically is a restoration, a building of something that was already there.
Thank you. Anything further? Seeing no further discussion, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a variance for work within the 50-foot buffer zone and within the stream? Brook at the wheel location.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes 4-0-0. The chair would also entertain a motion to close the hearing and approve the project as presented, subject to special conditions.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes 4-0-0.
Thanks.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and we'll keep you updated on, with the wheel too, when we get more, we know more, you'll know more.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate everything.
Okay, so I'll talk to you when that stuff's ready.
All right, appreciate it, thank you. I'll catch you later.
Bye.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Oh, actually, wait, I had a question.
No problem.
Are you fixing the sluice too?
There is another scout working on a project, Eagle project now. He's
All right.
a scout from 234, he's doing the Eagle project for that.
Fantastic.
So,
That's what it's.
yeah.
All right, moving to the next item on the agenda, request for a certificate of compliance for 42 Carriage Road for Nolan Brown. Defer to our agent.
So the work is all done. The contractor certified that everything was done according to the order. And I went out today with Mr. Brown and walked it, and it looks terrific. So I recommend that you give him his certificate.
Any comments from the board? Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Brown?
No, I'm looking forward.
Already done with us.
Then the chair would entertain a motion to issue, approve and issue a certificate of compliance for 42 Carriage Road.
So move. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Hill. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes 4-0-0.
Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
I know.
As well. All right. Having taken care of the members of the public that were anxiously waiting on their paperwork, we move to the American chestnut tree plantings item on our agenda.
How about if you do the minutes?
Oh, okay.
No?
I was gonna try and get Phil home, his poor wife's lost so many hours.
Sorry.
I want to listen to this.
All right, then we'll go back to the beginning and begin with the September 18th minutes for review.
You keep an eye on this.
I knew they were there.
I move we vote to approve the minutes from September 18th
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I am abstaining. So 3-0-1, the motion passes. Which now brings us to our American chestnut tree plantings. Certainly.
The work has been adjourned.
Well, they definitely can't get it.
You can't trust a chestnut.
You're welcome. I've heard that.
I mean, that'll keep the, what was it they called last time? Squirrels or deer? A chipmunk, yeah.
This almost looks like a chipmunk.
cage. Fierce, environmental hazard known as the eastern striped chipmunk. Very formal, so, can we chat?
Good evening.
Thank you for having me here. I think, I provided a little file of these things that have been passed out. This is a map of the,
Yeah, that's
full
This is it? Okay.
They pressed here tonight, I think the ink is dry.
I think this one needs to
Oh,
go.
okay.
If not, I'll give mine away.
But I know that, through the staff's, professional capability, photos of the two seedlings the commission bought, I think past year, are available. Of the four seeds, two of them have survived the seedling stage, and, I took care of them until about early summer, and then, Mr. Bob Dillon, he is one of the other members of the Open Space Committee along with me, very capably took over the guardianship of these precious little seedlings. And we're just about now at the time of the year when they advise setting these things out. Mr. Dillon is very experienced at protecting things from deer. His backyard is a textbook display of probably 2 or 3 dozen different sort of ornamentals and other things that he grows and has both by physical means and sprays and things. He's experimented with and has achieved a lot of success in having things grow without deer eating them. And he is, I would call it sort of a peace treaty with the deer because they're so at peace with him that they go comes and beds down in his yard almost every day next to his generator. I don't know. But it's bottom line is that these trees exist. They're in the hands of the town through the commission and the free labor is available from the Open Space Committee members to do a transplant of these to an outdoor location for hopefully a transition to a more natural future. There is a space available quite close to the parking lot of the Smith Alzelsby Conservation Area. It's former cornfield, I think probably everyone's familiar with it. It's one of those places which, even though a lot of work has been done by people on the outside of the table to clear out the edge of that parking lot, probably a little more work would be a good idea, but there is plenty of open space right now in the former cornfield area to set out these trees in along a little bit of natural forest soil and provide them with protection. And Bob and I will do this at no cost to the commission if you're so willing, and see if they will start to naturalize there and see what we get in the next growing season, or 2 or 3 or 4. Just some thoughts about it is, that's the idea and the timing that's proposed and the fencing is proposed. It's a place which really lends itself to educational signage because you have people who go there for walking, you've got Bay Circuit Trail hikers coming through. And if we were part of the American Chestnut Foundation's restoration project, which is really what we are, because we mean the town joined that group, either something small and easy to involve, or a little bit more involved, like some of the boards we have on other trails, we could really strike a blow for education about the American chestnut. It's quite a story, and if anyone's seen pictures of the chestnuts, these look like, some look like redwoods, and they were like 1 out of 4 trees east of Mississippi used to be a chestnut. They produce nuts every year, not every other year like an oak or something, and there's quite a story to be told. There's room there, again, for many additional seedlings if the commission, through one way or another, proceeds. I know that when I was sitting on that side of the table, I visited the Mass Wildlife Headquarters last May to see the chestnut orchard they have there. There was a lot of enthusiasm, both by the people who run that orchard, and volunteers, of course, and Mass Wildlife official, one Mr. Randy Foster, who also runs Webster Print down the street here. He couldn't possibly be more enthused about this. I tried to inject a little reality to the enthusiasm, saying, yes, we have volunteers and things, but there's so many things to volunteer for, we weren't quite sure what we could be aspiring to for chestnuts. But I think this would be a big step beyond what we've done so far, because we've just done sort of important lab work to see if we can get these things to sprout and how to protect them from these rodents and things like that. But, I think we could take this step, and some of us think it's a good idea, and we want to see what the commission thinks. I just don't know why we wouldn't do it, but, I wouldn't want to do something unilaterally without it being an official commission-approved concept.
You're the property management.
Well, no discussion, I just move it, we approve it.
Yeah, we talked about the whole thing before we left the commission, I think we all were in agreement, it's a great idea.
This, if I may say, I think this would actually make it a real thing, as opposed to a nice idea or just fooling around with this. And even if, worse than worse, only these 2 trees ever planted there, maybe over one list. If one chestnut lives and produces nuts, things like that, it'll be the first time that's happened in the town of Hanson for probably 50 or 100 years. And it might be part of the way of the future. I can say that the chestnut experts tell us the idea of breeding blight resistance into the American chestnut that crossing with the Chinese wasn't quite as simple as they were hoping. It isn't just one gene, now they've got it all. It's a complex mix of things, on which they're still working. But lots of progress has been made. These particular trees are something like 98% American chestnut genetics, and it is believed, based on experiments with the other orchards they have around, including the one out in Westboro, these trees grow very well and do very well, but it takes a number of decades for a chestnut to achieve its ultimate status. So maybe our guy Steve will be around to see it, I don't know. But the idea is do what we can now, and as opposed to not doing anything.
So,
That's all.
I'll move that we approve the project as stated. I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Anything from other members of the public? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? The motion passes 4-0-0. And we would like to offer our thanks to Mr. Clemens and Mr. Dillon for volunteering their time all summer and into this transplant project.
We'll let you know how it goes. It's could be an actual fun thing, and if there's anything resembling success at some point, it's a nice little news item.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent.
See you guys Monday night.
Next one.
And by the way, whatever comes up that's in the commission's interest, I'm willing, as a private, uninvolved citizen, to advocate for it in whatever way that might take place.
Would you speak to the public?
I see the Hubble project, the Hubble acquisition did make it into the warrant.
Right.
I hear and see in informal ways that the finance committee doesn't pay for it. I fail to grasp how this is a concern to them, since it's not something being paid for by newly raised funds. But I'm willing to, again, advocate both formally and then in other ways, sort of lobby in the hall, whatever. I can tell you too, that I mentioned this to Ryan, I don't know if you're in the office, Frank, we had to continue to have a strong line on a $15,000 grant from the Fields Pond Foundation. So even last we put on hold efforts to apply for that grant this past summer, because I didn't know if this was going to even get onto the warrants, because CPC found it difficult, but it's fine, they did do their part, I get that. But based on what happens Monday night, I will tackle that grant thing quickly. I was told by the executive director of that organization that they meet regularly and approve projects regularly. This wouldn't be like the state grant, which takes 6 months or a year and a half to do that. So, presuming the positive-looking things turn out the way they are when we expected, that 15K will be available for should go forward
Okay, that'd be great.
with it. Anyways, so,
Okay, thanks.
all right, thank you.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
So, this,
It's the 6:30 start time that really changed it. Which brings us to the October special town meeting articles. I think most people in this room, if not everyone, are aware that we have put in an article to restore the full-time status of the conservation agent.
Well, yeah, and increase the administrative assistance on it. Well,
Oh, that's not in the, we didn't do it this time,
Well, okay, so,
did we?
it's in the,
Oh,
It's in the motion.
it's in the possible amendment,
oh,
but
cool. Okay.
what are you working on?
Who's this? Okay, so I
Well,
think
that's
I'm up on
25, but we lost an hour because we all put in for, one of the evening girls.
that's the,
Right,
We
so
were gonna add,
that's where
I
they,
know there's a difference,
We
but
were gonna have-
like, they're not mutually exclusive.
are you
Well,
talking about
right.
that?
So I can explain that.
Oh, restored to 24,
So-
yes, right. We-
Couldn't
get
we
the 1
just
hour.
have one meeting?
so, right,
Yeah, oh, okay, I didn't see that,
so,
I get it, awesome.
Article 2 is to supplement appropriations, restore the highway and administrative union hours, which would, if I understand it, refund all the administrative union hours that were cut in the June meeting. Correct?
I don't know.
That's
That was my understanding. Hopefully they clarified that. But that was my understanding. There was this question because it's coming from free cash, and this basically gets us to the end of the year where there's not going to be free cash forward. So we also don't want to be a yo-yo, but that's,
putting the next fiscal year's disaster aside for the moment.
yeah.
For the fiscal year from November 1st through June 30th, Article 2 would restore what was originally intended to be a cut to one position that got spread out to everybody in town, correct?
That's my understanding.
So then I don't know that, well, we will have voted or not voted on that by the time we get to Article 20. So if we amend Article 20 on the floor, we might not need to be concerned. The administrative assistant hours may have already been restored.
Well, I can easily type up, yet a fourth paragraph. It doesn't.
I'm just saying that's,
But I'll need to know the dollar amount.
What's this dollar amount for 1655? Is that for both?
where'd that come from?
I gave it to him.
Okay.
That's my time at my rate, her time at her rate, added together.
Okay.
So you
From
could
the,
do,
from the first pay period in November through the end of fiscal year.
So then what I would suggest then, since there's a question about administrative hours, is that I come up with a fourth, I'll put these on separate sheets of paper. Come up with a fourth one.
Because
If Article 2 gets voted in, we won't need the 25-hour restoration. Right?
right, well,
I guess I'm
Well,
confused.
then we also would need to
This
change that
is
number.
Article 20. Why do we need to change it?
Because of Article 2.
Okay.
Because it doesn't say where the
Because
money's
it doesn't have any money in it.
but it had a money number when it was given to the select board, and they took it out.
Did they?
They rewrote this article at the select board to match the Board of Health article. It's not the one that was voted on and submitted.
So,
And I don't know when the select board took it upon themselves to do that, because when the town administrator's office sent out the email that there was a final draft. There was no draft attached to it to review. No one was invited to the select board meetings, no one was communicated to by the select board. When the select board chose to rewrite the articles that were submitted, the people that submitted the articles were not notified, were not consulted, were not informed.
It was not a select board meeting. I mean, it's not, I'm not sure when it happened. I didn't compare every version of we didn't actually sit down and make physical changes.
Well, the people that work for it work for the select board, so.
Correct.
It doesn't really seem to be accountability kicking around this building, but.
In some ways, it doesn't matter, the fact is, that's the way it ended up, and now we gotta fix it.
Right. There was a amount given to the select board and the town administrator in the original version of this article that was voted on by this commission. At some point, it was removed by other parties. So on the floor, we're going to need to amend this to match what we needed to say.
So,
What's the difference between the two different versions of?
well,
What is it, or what is it supposed to be? I think
No, there's two different amendments on here, and they look the same.
no, they're not. One of them is very slightly different. One of them is an amendment, and that will have to happen, and correct me if I'm wrong. It will have to happen with the moderator, or someone else, put this article forward.
So we moved
No.
So
If someone, besides us, puts Article 20 forward as written in the warrant, then we'll have to amend it on the floor, and that's what this second one is. We'll move to amend Article 20 to say this.
if we clue the moderator in ahead of time on what the plan is,
Right.
what he'll probably do is defer to Dave or I to move the motion on the floor. And then it would be the bottom one, I move that the town vote to, because you wouldn't be amending the article per se.
Right. That's the difference.
It's a technicality.
So that's.
It accomplishes the same thing, it's a technicality about how it's done.
I do have one concern on this though, because in the past, whenever somebody's tried to change or adjust a dollar value on the floor, they get told no because that has to be in the warrant. Are we gonna get screwed over by this change that occurred to the language? Because they're gonna say that what if somebody was deeply opposed to this $16,000 and they didn't come to the meeting to vote no?
If they do that, that's illegal.
I thought it was illegal to add a number that wasn't posted in the warrant.
No, it's not. It's not illegal to do that. Anybody at town meeting can offer an amendment to an article.
Yeah, no, the only reason I know that, you can do that, but one of the things that, when people have proposed an amendment in the past, they've been told no, because the amendment would have increased the value rather than decreased. You can amend down, but not up. It says we're going from an anonymous number, 0, basically, to something. Okay.
That's just not right.
Okay, no, that's why I'm asking.
That's not how town meeting works.
No, I'm just asking.
If they were told that, they were told a lie.
I literally just heard it at the meeting.
I mean, it's clear why they would do that, because they need to know, where are we gonna get the money,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
In this case, we're telling them where they're gonna get the money,
sure.
okay? They know from what we say, the money is coming from here.
No, it's just a concern.
Some dude wants to change it to, well, I think it should be 20,000. Well, then, that's a problem, because we don't know where the other 4,000 would come from.
Sure.
Okay? And so they would have to mull that over up on the stage and find an answer to that. And they might tell the guy, we can't come up with the money, will you please withdraw your motion?
Okay.
Or something like that. But they can't tell the guy, no, you're not allowed to amend something. That's not legal. This is town meeting.
It was in regards to, I don't know, the high school or something like that. It was one of Bruce Young's amendments where he wanted to rewrite the entire thing to move the money from one place to another. And they said that couldn't, because it wasn't posted in the warrant, that he was not allowed to do that one. And this was like 2 years ago, so I'm going off a vague memory. I wanted to throw it out there, is that a concern?
Everything's a concern, because we can't hire people that put together a warrant with the articles that were submitted.
At this point, we've got no option at all, except to make an amendment or to move it.
Well, why does this need to go to the town meeting floor? The notice of intent fund is not governed by that $7,500 limit.
it needs to go to the town meeting floor, because town meeting said the conservation agent and the health agent are now part-time.
Oh,
No.
The town meeting needs to say that they're now full-time.
And that's what this meeting article as 20 as written in the warrant says.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't include where it comes from, and you're saying that we don't need to include where it comes from.
Well, that's what TJ was saying.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a couple of moving pieces behind the scenes here. That the notice of intent fund that we're trying to fund this with needs, allegedly, approval from the select board to spend out of that fund. If we were to fund this from our town bylaw account, which is where we already fund a touch under $13,000 of the operating budget from, it needs.
no, you've got it backwards. We're actually funding it from the notice of intent fund. We're only allowed to spend $7,500 out of the bylaw fund, according to town meeting. We're
only allowed to. Town meeting's allowed to spend.
Town meeting's not allowed to spend anything on it. It's a revolving fund, it's controlled by the select board. They authorize the limit that we can spend, and the select board can spend more than that. In the case of the notice of intent fund, the thing that you sent me says, it's controlled by the Conservation Commission as long as the select board give you permission. And they can give you broad permission, which means you can spend the whole damn thing, or they can tell you, you can spend this amount for this purpose.
And that was never,
And they put that in writing. That fund has never been touched, except that in the last town meeting, the town meeting said you can fund the Conservation Commission salary line with X amount from appropriation and this $16,000 from the notice of intent fund. They didn't write it out as notice of intent fund, but
No, it says wetlands fund,
It
so
says
it was
wetlands fund.
ambiguous which one they're taking it from.
Yes, but the town accountant has to take it from the notice of intent fund. He has no access to the bylaw fund. He has only what the select board authorizes him to do.
so when we originally proposed this, I wish I had that in front of us, did we say where it was coming from? We didn't notice of intent.
It said free cash or any other available source, because we had to put an article in as a placeholder without
Right,
having had a chance to discuss where it was.
right, okay,
Because,
It was our original intent that it come out of free cash.
right.
That's what it said.
correct, it was free cash or any other available source. That part is accurate. The part after where it says a sum of money, there was a number there in the warrant article that was voted on by us and submitted. I don't remember what number, it was 9/12 of what got cut, was how, the number I picked. Because it was supposed to,
It was what?
it was 9/12 of what we cut. Because July, August, and September were gone, so putting back the money we cut for October through June. But I don't remember what number that was when I did the math.
And we weren't consulted on why it was changed. Nobody
We haven't really
nobody
been
talked,
consulted on any of this.
nobody talked to us about it.
So the short of it is, it was changed, and this is the proposed.
When they-
And then in the event that Article 2 fails for some reason or another, we have a second one that Dave's gonna raise.
It's gonna reconcile.
No,
No,
not
of Article 2 passes.
Is it passed? I'm sorry.
Fantastic, right.
Sorry. Yeah, because you'd be removing the administrative assistant part.
Right.
Okay.
So I need a fourth paragraph here.
Yeah.
I need 4 pages instead. Well, I don't really need the first one. Anyway,
But-
that's the plan.
This whole process, when we did the budget in May, the finance committee decided we were gonna use $12,750 or thereabouts from the wetlands fund that they didn't identify or consult us on, or inform us of until we were at town meeting and we were going through the town budget. The town administrator's office has changed this article. The finance committee has been radio silent on why they're voting against the things that we've put in for this October town meeting.
They're against spending free cash. That's basically the finance committee's always been against spending free.
Well, now they're against spending CPC money.
Yeah.
So, what is it?
Now they're against spending CPC money.
Yeah.
Same type of thing.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
You can't do anything else with it.
Not the same thing at all.
No, but
They have no-
I believe,
they have no
if I
say
recall what
with that.
they had said was that they believed it could be used differently.
For what? We wanna know
But
for what?
other CPC related.
For what? We wanna.
They're not appointed to determine what it should be spent on.
Right.
That's what
Right, but
CPC
they
is
can say
appointed.
they don't agree with it. They can say they have that ability. They're not telling what you should spend on. They're just saying why.
They should be able to justify their decision. That's,
Oh, they don't have to.
They don't have to.
well, then they shouldn't be making one.
Their
Don't make a recommendation if you can't back it up.
Their statutory authority is to offer an advisory opinion on every article that comes before town meeting, which, when we had to vote the school budget in June at the special meeting, wasn't, oh, we're not gonna make any recommendations, because they are a black hole unto themselves.
Okay.
So, does anyone object to the goal of restoring full-time restoring the hours cut to both office positions?
No.
All right, so Dave will have,
And I don't think.
If someone else is free to do this, they would choose to.
I'm gonna be there anyway for the nip band, or, yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Are you the other, right?
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, okay.
I intend to.
Moderator,
I'll do it. I mean, if anybody else really wants to do it, they can have
Oh,
it.
I thought you were only gonna go if.
No, I'm gonna be there anyway.
Yeah, okay.
But if you really would like to make a speech about this, then by all means, please do.
For you, I don't care. I have no problem with public speaking.
I don't either. They haven't asked me to do anything.
All right.
I didn't know that.
Any further comments as it pertains to the special town meeting articles?
Well, there's the third one, and the third one is the budget.
Right, which is, they're also against.
Yes, I don't know, well,
Which is.
No, I know they voted against. I know, finance committee voted against pretty much everything. But I know for a fact against everything. I shouldn't say everything. I don't think they had a vote on the property list.
The budget one, what I did was I wrote, that's what this is, I don't plan to distribute this at town meeting. This is the budget we feel we should have. So that's what this represents. And the only reason I did this is so that we would be on board with it, and so if somebody asked a specific question, that we would refer to an answer. But ultimately, we just want to make the case that we need our budget restored so that we can continue to maintain the properties, which is why we have the handout demonstrating what we did for fiscal '24. And if people want to continue to have usable trails and parking lots, that we need finances to do it. So
Sure.
hopefully that'll be an easy sell. We're not asking for anything unusual. So there's that.
I don't know that anybody's gonna pick a fight about 20 grand. I don't know that anybody's gonna pick a fight about any of the money on articles, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
I think everybody that's gonna pick a fight is gonna pick a fight about the same thing we fought about in May.
Right. Well, the budget thing would come from the budget, however,
Free cash.
yeah, right. So that could be contested. But the point to make, I think, is that, and that's why we have the handouts, the point to make is that in order to maintain the trails and the dog parks, whatever you want to call them, we need a budget to do it. And the town meeting decides we don't care about that, and the answer is, bye-bye trails and whatever. So hopefully a common sense will prevail.
Here's hoping.
I know. And then the Hubble one, apparently Laura and hopefully Phil are gonna have something to say about that, so hopefully we don't have to get involved directly on that.
I would imagine that the majority of people there are gonna understand there's nothing else you can do with CPC money.
Yeah. Well, hopefully John will say something if that comes up, elucidate at that point.
I'm sure.
Not like they can use it for whatever, Main Street development or some kind of. So, that's what we're faced with.
All right, anything else on the town meeting agenda topic?
I'll just, Frank, just let me know what this number is without,
Yeah, I can do that. I can give it to you after the meeting.
oh. Okay, so that's it for that.
Okay. National Grid, 368 Indian Head Street, any update
Done.
from scheduling?
It's done.
Done.
Done?
Done.
Wires and cans are down.
It's all done.
Only wires and cans?
Yeah,
Poles are still up.
poles are up.
They're leaving the poles.
I met with them down in Open Gate Foil and talked to the lineman. Yeah, they didn't have anything on their order about the poles.
It's fine.
It's not yet, so that's what it says, yeah, a virgin, Frank, that's,
The transformers for the pipe will do
yeah,
the job.
yeah, but the wiring and transformers are out. All set.
That's easy.
Oh, in the end.
Yeah. How many months, years?
All right. And that's already paid, right?
Mm-hmm, we paid
Done.
up front.
Yeah.
So we could probably take that off the agenda going forward.
Yep.
Take off.
Conservation property list, did we,
I have a check,
okay,
and so tomorrow I'll go to the registry and see what they want to do. I don't know whether they're going to require me to have a check for each one of those, or whether they're going to take all of them at once. I have to talk to the registrar.
okay.
I understand in the background that Lisa is having discussions by email with our town council. I've been ignoring that because I don't think there's any value to what they're doing. But I don't know what's gonna come out of that. Apparently she asked town council to estimate what they would charge to get this done. I'm gonna have it done before they,
So you're just gonna do it?
Okay. Anything else on the conservation properties?
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that, but that's gonna be an interesting one.
you can take it back to them. If those people that sit with you on that board wanna talk to me, come and talk to me.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I don't get that.
otherwise I'm gonna do what I'm paid to do.
Yeah.
Okay, open space and recreation plan, presumably no update until hopefully the warrant article for that passes, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Property management,
There's not a lot, the trash situation is getting bad again at Fort Meadow, but, other than that, things are kind of status quo.
did you put the caution tape up down there?
Yeah, I did.
Where's that?
Fort Meadow,
Where's the caution tape?
at Fort Meadow.
Like blocking it off so people can't get in?
No, I think also people don't walk under the gigantic hornet's nest that's hanging from the tree there.
Okay. It's, the driveway's right here, it's on like this corner of it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I was like, that's kind of weird, I never stopped and looked, I just took note of it.
Did you look now?
No, I will now.
Well, look, it's about the size of a watermelon, is what Sergeant Daly called it.
Well, every time I drive by, I think I should call Dave and ask him if he did that.
When I went to put it up, there was one of the officers was standing almost underneath it. And I just inform you, sir, I'm just gonna put this caution tape up, make sure people don't get too close to the home. I said, no, what is that? What is that? It was like almost over his head.
Wow.
Anyway, they'll be gone soon as we get lost.
Okay.
And then that whole thing we were talking about last year, I don't know if that's.
Well, I didn't have much else, but, Steve, did you check on the cedars on the committees at all?
What's up?
The seniors, the committees, have you looked at them lately?
I haven't been down there in a month.
Yeah, I tried to look at them from the road, but you can't really tell, so.
I can go down there with the dog, people look.
Yeah, although I can do it, I just looked at you now.
Sure.
So what was, you were now talking about?
The thing about the building of the bridge and the money required for that.
Oh, yes, TJ and I both heard from Laura after you talked about that.
Okay, yeah, she mentioned that. And it's very, the way she was responding, it seemed like it was very contentious.
This commission is no longer anticipating receiving any money from that earmark,
I talked to Tony,
from that earmark.
I
And
talked
we
to
will-
Tony about it actually today, and he told me that, my proposition to him was that spending that, what does the earmark say? Because if it allows for the study, it doesn't leave enough to build the bridge.
Right.
And he said, that's right. But they've already let the contractor decide.
So according to Laura, they're two totally separate projects. That the study isn't even gonna go, it was proposed by the finance committee. The finance committee has their,
The Economic Development Committee and the Conservation Commission are trying to build two different boardwalks.
definitely, yes.
For two different reasons. And neither have particularly high opinions of the other project.
Right.
I think the development committee doesn't understand the fact that you can't build a bridge from property you don't own, the property you don't own.
So I'm wondering
You
if
can't just decide to put an access into a state property. They don't seem to understand that fact, but they're gonna have an
But has
engineering
somebody
study, so
mentioned
they-
that to,
Yeah, I've mentioned it to Tony several times, in fact, Frank did, Phil did.
so they understand that? I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like they're just
yeah,
like an oversight.
This isn't news to them.
It's like the two committees that,
I think they're gonna be wildly underwhelmed by the study results.
and overwhelmed by the study cost and not have money to do a damn thing.
Well, so if you read the actual earmark when it was given to us, when we were trying to be involved, it's to study the feasibility of it. The earmark's for the study, it's not to build the bridge.
Okay, well.
Economic development is doing things in a specific, set of steps. That is how they've chosen to pursue their project.
Right,
They have not,
right.
And it seems like there is, looking at it, it seems, the only thing that makes sense is there are ulterior motives. And I don't like that at all.
Well, yeah, who knows?
I think there's also a lack of involvement from people who have expertise. I think it's well-intentioned ignorance.
You do, okay. So you think, like, Tony doesn't understand it?
No, I don't think Tony runs the Economic Development Committee. I know Tony doesn't run the Economic Development Committee, I know who
But
does,
he's working with them.
but I know who runs it.
That's what he told me today. He was very pleasant. He just said that they decided to divvy that earmark up in three pockets, and that the pocket involved with the boardwalk, most of that's going to the study. And he said that if they don't use all of it, and it looks as if they may not, this is where that other conversation had. He says he's hoping that he can get a little money out of that to help us out with building this other bridge. That he's trying to work with us.
Unfortunately, it seems like almost, the way I was told, it was like, get your hands away from our funding.
Oh, yeah, he's not proposing that they're gonna
If
fund
they're
it.
gonna do it. There might be extra money, but if that doesn't, I don't know that will come to us.
Well, he doesn't either. He just said, the engineering study's gonna take up most of that, the third that goes to the boardwalk. And if there's any left over, he's hoping that he can find a way to get us some of it.
Which is the bridge we'll cross when we get there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a moot point, and the fact of the matter is, we were planning to build that bridge before this whole earmark thing even came up, so.
Correct.
In some ways, it's, you know,
If we were a town trying to have the similar goals, we would do it a different way than we are.
well, they're not interested very much in Bay Circuit Trail or anything like that. They just want to do whatever they want.
They're interested in economic tourism, but not in the opinions of people who want to promote economic tourism in a different way.
Anyway, that's the way it is.
And
Oh, and also, when I'm down at the Crooked Place parking lot, I picked up some interesting trash down there. It looks like somebody's maybe camping there or something, because there was like groceries there. Unshucked corn on the cob and unbaked mashed potatoes, open cans of Chef Boyardee and things of that sort. There was a live chicken there as well. Live chicken? Yeah.
is there still?
As far as I'm concerned, we had a truce. So I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I picked up what was there and touched it, but something odd was going on.
But it was in the other parking lot,
It was in the parking lot.
so it wasn't like they were in the woods.
Well, it was in the woods right beside the parking lot, immediately beside. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna start going by and keeping a close eye. Anyway, other than that, everything is pretty much status quo.
All right. Thank you for your detailed report, Property Management Coordinator Mansfield.
One item related to that is that we got an email from Lauren Wright, and,
Oh, yes.
I assume that's a woman. She wants to put a geocache on the Bonnie Hill Trail somewhere,
Yeah, thank you for that.
and so she feels like she needs permission from the Conservation Commission to do that.
She does. Geocaching guys, I'm a geocacher myself. They require permission to place it anywhere. They won't allow you to put it into the database if you don't have it.
Okay.
I would propose, although it's all public land and geocaches are generally speaking hidden, you're not gonna just find one of these things. It's a puzzle to find it.
Yeah.
They're super non-intrusive. They're generally speaking, most of them are smaller than your fist. Some of them are a small little tube, and they're usually in the knot of a tree or under a rock or something like that. But I would actually propose that rather than just give direct permission to her, that we just say that geocaches are permitted so long as they're placed respectfully on the property. Because I wouldn't mind putting some down myself, you know, that she provides.
Well, that's exactly my problem with it.
Well,
If we allow it, how do we limit how many thousands of people can be tromping around looking at it?
Can it meet the same
Well-
trail?
so what I would say is that it has to be, that's what I mean by respectfully placed. It would have to be relatively within proximity to a trail and not require bushwhacking. Like, and you know, like don't make it so that they have to just wander off into a wetted area or something like that. But the other thing too is that, in terms of extra numbers of geocache, there is a system restriction. 2 geocaches cannot be within 500 feet of each other. They won't allow it.
Well, there would be room for about 50 of them up at Bonnie Hill.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
How many people does that mean are going to be tromping around there?
It's,
When you say, are you worried about
Maybe
people walking
that's
the
not
trail
a super popular
or walking off the trail?
I don't care.
They will be walking around the trail, but generally speaking, most geocaches that I've seen, they see, if they're in a popular location, you can see a log of every time somebody's visited one. We're talking 1 to 2 per month at most. That's on a super popular one. Some of them go 2 to 3 months, 4 months, even a year without seeing a single visitor. So although it's
Okay.
Can we limit it to be?
I'm just concerned about
10 feet
traffic
of the
off.
trail, or like within X feet of the trail?
generally speaking, that's where most of them are. Most people are not going to go, like, say, you have to go wander through a bush to get to it 300 yards in the woods. They're usually relatively close to trail lines because it needs to be accessible. But
Because this one doesn't say where. So
Yeah,
I'd like to know how
Right,
to-
Well,
that's
right.
exactly right, that's my concern.
So what if we just say coordinated with a commissioner, rather than making them have to come to the board for each one if they never came before us? Or do we want to just say it's such an infrequent thing, we just come to the board?
Is it a big deal if they had to come to the board, well, not come to the board, but send an email to the board, like this person did? And then we'd say, because we should know where it is. We should be able to know where they are on our property, even if we can't.
Or at least know that they're not causing people to be tromping through a wetland or through a meadow or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah, so, yeah, then maybe it should be with specific coordinates to be coordinated with you, Dave, since you have the property management settlement.
well, to be coordinated with the conservation department.
Oh, no, I meant a specific placement, like, out in the field, to make sure that it's not in an inappropriate location, like making you walk through a stream or something.
Right, but if Dave Mansfield moves to Florida next year,
Right.
Put it to the title,
it's gotta be worded in such a way that,
then attach it to the title we just made.
I have no problem with that as long as we keep it restricted enough to make me happy, but more importantly, to make Dave happy, because I think he has the, you know,
Well, that's my only concern. I don't have any opinion about you.
but it might bring more people to, in this case, you're talking about, you know, but we're not limiting it to volumes, any of our properties. Yeah, so it might bring a couple more people, which is a good thing. You know.
Well, that's why I was proposing to do it at that, and the reason I said that is I specifically it occurred to me, like, I never thought of that until just now, even though I participate in this hobby. I'd happily go place one at each of the sites, just as, in a effort to try to get a few more people to come out and take a look. Because, I mean, the goal of these is to get people to go to our properties that we're maintaining, and this would bring more people in. Not a ton, but a few.
What do they look like, and are they buried, are they hidden,
No,
how are they hidden?
It's against the rules for them to be buried. They're, generally speaking, the most common way they're hidden is like in a tree that has multiple branches, it'll be like inside of it, or if there's like a rock wall, they'll like tuck it in the back of one of them or something like that, and they give you clues.
But not nailed, no nails?
Never affixed. Yep, they're never affixed, and it's always just a container, basically. They have watertight containers that are there. Some of them are as small as, like, literally, there's one in the town hall, I can show you, there's one right over there. But some of them are as small as a dime, literally just a little tiny thing that you find, and the biggest ones are ammo tins, so literally like a box that's one there. But generally speaking, they're usually placed in such a way that they're non-intrusive, and you would never just, if you didn't know it's there, you'd never find it. They're supposed to be hidden.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve geocache placing, with prior permission and coordination from the commission.
So, second. Do we need to write anything up on that?
Well, I mean, it's gonna require them to reach out to the office. We don't,
Yeah, I didn't know if we would have a certain requirements that would go by if they did come and we just.
I think I would amend the proposal just made to tie it to Dave's position, the property management coordinator, I think is what we're calling it. Just to say that it has to be the specific placement to be determined by. That way, if there's any objection to the placement of it, that Dave can just say, get it out of there, that's not a good place.
is there a second to the amendment?
What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not opposed to geocaching, I'm just concerned about that.
Yeah. But are you okay with being?
Oh, I don't care.
On having them go out there and approve it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Well, they can just tell them where they're gonna put it, they don't have to physically go out there and hide it themselves.
Right, no, I mean, Dave could delegate it if he's.
Or his property management coordinator works.
I don't think we have to do it.
Yeah.
Put it in that way.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so the motion was made and amended. Any discussion, further discussion on the motion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes 4-0-0.
There was another
What
thing,
about
Frank,
the-
the deer stand.
What about the blind? Oh,
Oh.
I'm saying it done. Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, what about the blind? So Dave and I are on the same track here.
Yeah.
Did you have something else?
I want to close with him on this. You're gonna contact this person.
Well, I can, just, yeah.
You have that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, deer stand. Got a request from a fellow, do we have that somewhere here?
His name is Max Gonzalez.
Maxwell
I don't know if it was-
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
I don't know if there's any paperwork that went with it.
No, he called for,
Asked if he could put a tree stand in Smith Nowazowski for deer hunting season. And according to our rules, he has to have permission from the commission to do that. And then there are some rules that he has to abide by, which he saw on the kiosk. And that's why he called. So, you'll have to consider his request and either approve or not approve his putting a deer stand out there this season. It's another case where you might wanna know where it is.
Yeah, you should know.
Do we have that communication with this gentleman, or?
It was a phone call.
It was a phone call, okay.
I did, for my own benefit, copy the rules, but I don't know, I think I left them upstairs. But they're on our website, so.
Can we approve it with, would you be able to go out and find out, like, is it built yet, or do we know where they
Well,
want it?
better not be.
No, I mean, it's like, so you need to contact this person to find out where they want to move.
Yeah,
Right.
Or if somebody does.
he
Do you
needs,
have the
he
time
needs
to?
to show us where it's gonna be.
I think we should approve it.
Pending.
Pending the,
Yeah, because deer season's gonna open before we meet again.
Yeah.
and it's only, you know, based on, you know, the rules, it's only there for a short length of
It
time.
has to be taken down, I think it's 2 weeks after the season, if I remember right. Something like that. That's why we want to know where it is, so it's easy to make sure it's.
Yep. Do we need to vote on that? or-
Yeah, so the chair would entertain a motion to approve Mr. Gonzalez's request pending final coordination of the installation location.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, and seconded by Mr. Keel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion passes 4-0-0. How about Mr. Reese's site visit?
Oh, so Mr. Reese came in today with an updated plan that kind of showed where he wants to put his work. I said, oh, I might as well print it out for the commission. He wanted to see if you guys could come up with a couple of dates to go on the site walk.
Where is this?
Elm Street.
Right up here, you know, the Elm Street property?
I see he's moved his access when he's going in, away from that property.
Oh, really? To that, to the place?
Originally, it showed it right on the property line.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
He moved it,
He had it right up
Andrew.
here.
It goes right over here.
Out over there.
So originally, this property below him is owned by somebody that had told our agent that they were never going to sell, and the property's on the market now. So what I have here,
Mr. Bryan has gone back on his earlier,
Does map 36 lot 8F-F have street frontage anywhere?
Yeah. Down, it's down here.
a few years ago, I talked with Mr. Bryan, and he said he was never gonna sell. He loved the land, he was gonna hang on to it, but now he's gonna sell.
That's before you can get settled in the venture.
But he's got a pretty high price on it, so I don't think anybody's gonna jump on it right away.
So wait, we sell?
see where his lot is, right underneath? Okay, if you look, okay, see where the plan is, you'll see like little dots that have like B
Over here,
Yeah.
right here.
right
Oh,
there.
so,
Yeah,
different, yeah.
mhm.
Is there a street there?
Yeah, Elm Street.
No, street.
It's all land,
But he
yeah,
comes out to Elm Street.
What's here?
that's all
the property
land.
in question.
That's
Oh, this guy has frontage, or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
the one that's
Look,
selling.
It's up here.
And
It's down here. Down,
That's not the issue here, guys. We're gonna,
yeah.
the issue is
Right.
that Brian wants you to walk his proposed driveway.
Right. That's that all.
apologies, I misunderstood that. I thought that you were saying that the
No.
driveway would be going through a different way and not cross the wetland.
He wants us to watch his proposed driveway to, it's in within 50 feet of the buffer? I mean,
We voted this guy down.
He's in the
back
wetland.
looking
He's in
for
the
help.
wetland.
it's in the wetland.
In the wetland.
Tell him that.
Right here.
Okay.
But he has,
This is in the wetland.
Oh, okay.
the rules allow him to have a driveway through the wetland. The Conservation Commission can approve up to 5,000 square feet. If it goes beyond that, it has to have approval from the DEP.
He's got, what, 2,500, is that what it is?
4650.
46.
Well, that's what he's saying. But in order to make this project work for him, he has to first get out to the back where the upland is and do perk tests. If they don't work, this is all a moot point. But to get back there, he wants to be able to drive a machine through and get out there. So his objective is to have you guys, one or two or three of you, however many want to go out there, to walk this proposed route for the machine and confirm that he can do this without taking down a bunch of vegetation.
Right, when he came to see us, the concern was he just was gonna kind of wing it with the machine.
Yeah, just go boom and blast.
Go around the tree.
I'm not gonna cut any trees down. Okay, well, it's not just cutting trees down. So he was supposed to have, I think Brad Holmes flagged for him,
Yeah.
and Brad and his engineer were supposed to walk, and that's probably why this driveway moves from where it was. This is the least intrusive way to get out there. And what we had discussed at the time was a site visit so that we could feel better about his bringing the mini excavator out there to do the test bits. This is strictly for the mini excavator and the test bits.
This here is just for the mini excavator.
The approval is for a mini excavator. If the test pits pass, he would be back looking to build this driveway.
Along the same route.
Correct.
Or some route.
But if he does another route, it adds to the square footage that he's touched.
Possibly.
Well, let me also say, I think you need to give him the benefit of taking the walk, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got a pretty big investment in this property, and he wants to be able to get back there and take a look at it and dig it. That's what's before you. But let me also say that I compared this plan with the previous plan, and they don't match.
The plan for the cutting across the wetland.
Which
There-
elements do not match?
The plan that was done in 2019 was for the bank, which owned it at the time, and the wetland was flagged, and the property lines were drawn, and that plan was the subject of an ANRAD, which was approved by the commission, and it had a life of 3 years. But anyway, there's a plan out there that has this project, this property surveyed and the wetland line drawn, and the wetland line was even reviewed by another person and slightly changed. So the whole thing was done right at the time. That plan and this plan don't match.
As far as the wetlands, for the most part,
As far as the wetlands, as
But the
far as
property
the property lines,
property lines are different.
they don't match.
Where do we start?
So I have a call into the surveyor to try to resolve that issue. The surveyor is a man named Farrier, who stamped the plan, both plans, the 2019 plan and this plan, which don't match. So bear that in mind. It's not the issue before you. The issue before you is to give Brian Rice the opportunity to show you where he wants to drive his mini
Even if the
excavator.
plan might not be 100% accurate, it's still okay to do this?
Well, our big concern about the property lines at the time was that he was cutting the driveway on the property line, and he couldn't tell us where it was. If he's squarely within his own property to drive the machine up there, it's not, strictly speaking, our concern.
What you're gonna find is that it's more than 4,800 and whatever he says it is. So that when he comes back to us with his notice of intent, he's still gonna have to go to DEP.
You think this plan, if you were to measure it, is more than that, or the wetlands is more than their
The
flat?
wetlands is more than what he's showing.
Because when Mr. Reese, whatever, came to see us, he had the 2019 plan from the bank. He had not had anything prepared himself. He did say that Brad Holmes reflagged the wetlands.
at great pain since the neighbors were
Right.
not very happy.
The neighbors were, right.
But anyway, the discussion for tonight is a site visit, because we would still have to reopen the hearing and approve the test bits.
It seemed like, this is gonna need to be like a ZBA type thing too, right? Because they.
Oh, what, now, because you're on that board too, it's gonna go there?
No, I'm just looking at the amount of wetlands there are, percentage-wise, you have, I'm asking, not saying, I'm not, it's just,
I doubt if it would require a
You don't think-
ZBA.
oh, good,
No,
good.
there's 20-some acres here. It's not like he's restricted.
Okay.
16 point something acres, 16.4 acres.
But it's got, so this is plenty, okay. But it's just getting there.
Right,
Getting there,
there's
yeah.
plenty of dry land there to build on.
Okay.
Virginia will get a copy of the public hearing notice, like all the land use,
Mhm.
they get a copy of that and they can write notes to Frank if they have a concern or whatever.
All right, so
Thanks.
I'm probably a no with
I'll go.
current circumstances.
He'll be happy to see me there.
I'll go if I'm available, but I can't guarantee my availability.
Are you?
I can't walk that far.
I'll do it.
Yeah. We just use that, because I'm abstaining on this entire thing, so,
People,
because I know the person who lives right here, so it's the most affected party.
So if you can let him know that I'll be happy with a couple.
Yeah, you want me to shoot out any
How many people need
Day.
to go?
weekdays?
I'll give you one.
You go, okay.
I'll give you
If more go, that's great, but
Okay, so let me know when you're going.
we need one person to go and look at it and report back on their findings.
Okay.
I think there's a site visit form, isn't there, technically?
Yeah.
There is a site inspection report form.
Yep.
They can write and it goes in the folder.
Any chance you've ever filled one of those out?
I got a copy of it, but I don't know if I ever filled one out. Oh, yeah, fill one out, when we take care of it.
So we might need to keep that in mind. If-
We
if Frank can't go with
we
you.
did tell Brian that he should have Brad there also. So he's gonna ask Brad to be there.
Okay.
Send me a copy of that report form. I
Okay.
think I have one.
I had one, but I also,
I'll print,
cleaning
you know what I'll do? I'll print a hard copy out for you.
Well, you can just email.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, see what he wants to do.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
The-
I'll see how-
Tuesdays are not good in general
No Tuesdays, okay.
for me.
During the week, still? You wanna go during the week?
Yeah, my weekends are pretty heavily committed.
No
Now,
weekends.
it doesn't matter.
Okay. So I'll just say weekdays. And then,
If you, so, when we have a time, if we can post it and send it to everybody else,
Yeah.
I mean, if
What
Ed
else
or
do you-
I are available, we'll try to make it, but
I'll post an
We can't-
agenda.
yeah.
I'm gonna send it to you guys.
I can't
I mean,
promise anything,
yeah, but that way we'll have it.
you know. If we get two there, that, or
Yeah,
even three, that'd be great, but there's no guarantees.
okay. Okay.
The enforcement order we signed while you were out. What was their deadline to get back to us?
She did get back to us. She did give us a planting plan. I went out and I spoke with her. She's back and forth to Florida, so she's not coming back until, I think she's due back next week.
Okay.
So I have another meeting with her. And she told me she will go ahead and do the planting, and so that should be resolving itself.
Okay. And the last thing I had, did you all get the email from Matt, the survey about the conservation hours and salaries? and-
Salary, it was a salary survey.
I probably got it, I have some emails I haven't opened from.
So,
I think I did.
they, if you read the email, it asks for one person per community to answer, so that we don't duplicate. So I just want to make sure that we're not all answering.
I did.
I didn't get it.
You answered?
What is it?
Did you say you answered it?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
I answered it.
You did answer.
Oh, you
Good.
did?
I was gonna say, the next question was gonna be, could you send one of us the information to answer it, so.
That's all
I
the
did.
better.
So when you open that email, we don't need to worry about it. Okay,
We gotta,
we don't have to do anything.
can we?
No.
I'm not.
You can't do anything.
No, that's
It's
just
just
let
a
you guys
notice.
know.
We have no jurisdiction.
No.
None.
No.
As somebody who read chapter 131, section 40 today, while I was fighting with Frank, no, there's a specific exemption for mosquito control products.
And if you read the law that applies to the mosquito control people, they have absolute control over what they do.
You can stay inside
Absolute.
tonight. That's what you can do.
Yeah, be inside. It's like the school committee, you can't talk to them.
Is it tonight?
I'm not.
October 2nd.
I would end up
Mr.
there.
Mr. Rossetti is a very nice man. He's the pilot. He's a very nice man who's willing to talk to you about what he does, but he's going to do it.
Because they've been granted,
They legally have presumption, the power to do pretty much whatever they want.
There you go.
can I ask?
And they're only
people-
going to do the swamp. They're
What
not,
is it?
they're only doing the swamp.
They're doing wetlands.
Do it all the time.
They're doing the swamp, the Great Cedar
Yeah.
Swamp. That's what they're doing.
Let's wait and see.
That's what they said?
So, 'cause
Because
Frank's gonna get back.
the email that we get is.
The email says they're going
Yeah,
to
Frank's
do
gonna,
200
Frank's gonna check if our blanket
But I'm
line
telling
applies.
you what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and then we'll put it on. Okay, I'll just put it, keep it in my packet.
Which makes me feel a little bit better, but
They're not coming over your house.
I'm not worried about the house. I'm worried about what else it kills.
About what?
What else dies because of the mosquito spray? Bees, everything else, things that eat.
I invite you to call Mr. Rossetti.
I'm not. I just didn't know what everybody else felt about it. Everybody else is perfectly fine with it happening?
Well,
It's not a case of being perfectly fine, it's a case of not having the power to stop it.
Okay, I understand that. That's good, because I feel there's so many things that have the power to stop that we don't want. And I didn't want to be like going in the. Some people doesn't like it.
You're
Everybody else is
probably
fine.
not the only one, I'll probably get calls from people who heard the plane.
Yeah.
Plus, according to the MACC people, spraying doesn't do a damn thing about the mosquitoes that carry AAA. Doesn't even reach them.
What is it?
it may or may,
MACC people, spraying doesn't have any effect on AAA mosquitoes.
Right, I mean, it's.
Chris, since you're here, did we ever, did you ever throw any grass seed on the hill over there, 51?
Nope, I've been playing with, hay, putting hay down. I'm waiting to see how it, folds up.
Oh, okay.
I mowed it today, started to take down that fence.
Did you mow the figure eight there? Oh, okay, thanks. Highway took the toilet out of the woods down there, I don't know. Down by the boat ramp, somebody left the toilet there.
the last thing, I don't know if we officially need a vote on it. We have a letter of thanks to Mr. Clemens for his service on the commission. It is standard practice of the commission to express thanks to members that have departed. Are there any objections to me signing this letter on behalf of the commission? Wonderful.
We were talking about doing a picture or something, or is that?
We
something
haven't done it yet, we still can.
Picture.
Yeah, I have this frame that I got, and you guys can all sign a little something, and we can take a picture of the commission. Give it to us. If you guys want.
Sure.
Okay. I'll bring it next time.
You look chappy Saturday.
Yes, I know that.
The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn, the time being 8:02 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? We stand adjourned.